Chapter 13, Patsy! You arrive in the conference room after another sleepless night to find Gabe, Aislinn, and Gigi already assembled. The morning news plays at a low volume in the background. Hey, sorry about Hank. How are you holding up? I'm heartbroken for Hank and his family. I feel like I'd just spoken to him. There were no hints of, well, maybe I just wasn't looking. Don't go down that road, Quinn. There's absolutely nothing you could have done. He just didn't deserve this. He wasn't exactly the warmest guy. I know he was living under a lot of stress, but to jump. After promising you the evidence that could make or break our case, are you sure he wasn't pushed? Mm-hmm. We can't make assumptions like that. We can't make assumptions the other way either. I agree with that the timing of Hank's passing is suspicious, but we still have over a dozen elders being mined for their savings. As hard as it will be, we can't let this discourage us from finding a way to help them. Since Judge Ritter's clearly decided not to honor our deal, we'll need to find some other way to get their cases overturned. Everyone shut up! She turns up the volume as a picture of Hank appears, and then cuts away to show a news anchor. Breaking update on the tragic death of a city social worker, Hank Lovell. Police have confirmed that a note was found in Mr. Lovell's office, indicating that he intended to... The note detailed a financial fraud scheme Lovell had masterminded that preyed upon elderly via conservatorships. They're pinning the entire scam on Hank. That's dark. There's more. Details are still being uncovered, but the goal seems to have been gaining control of the ward's finances via these conservatorships. Police have already investigated the links between Mr. Lovell's expert testimony and dozens of possible fraudulent conservatorships. This must have been a last resort. You don't think this was their plan all along? To kill Hank? No, I think it was an act of desperation once they realized how much he knew. But he was always a liability. I'm guessing they knew he wouldn't be bought off. Still, they wouldn't have allowed the scam to become public knowledge like this unless they were all out of options. Or maybe they saw an opportunity to get rid of Hank and they solved multiple problems all at once. Still, it's a huge jump from fraud to murder. It's hard to believe they'd all have Hank killed. Oh, I think it's usually just one person calling the shots in these sort of things. She nods to the screen. We go live to mayoral candidate and former district attorney Calvin Colby. Colby has called a press conference to respond to this discovery of abuse and corruption in our court system. The image shifts to a podium outside the courthouse. Calvin Colby looks artfully disheveled. Let me start by saying how shocked and appalled I am to have learned of this callous, morally bankrupt scheme to defraud our city's elderly. While Hank Lovell's passing is a tragedy, the greater tragedy is that he's taken away from the good, hard-working elders in our community. That's why the chief focus of my administration will be to root out this sort of corruption and punish those perpetrating it. Hear, hear. I'll be reaching out to former colleagues in the city government to form a task force today to address this. Because if there's anything you can trust, it's that all. Aislinn cooks the TV off in disgust. I'm sorry, I can't stomach Slimy's hypocrite this early in the morning. Yeah, I know, I feel that. I guess there's no more doubt over who was pulling Carl and Erica's strings. Abe runs an agitated hand over his chin. A shadow of stubble has appeared there since yesterday. He's always got stubble. You're gonna have to be new and frank about that one. I should have expected this from Calvin. He's always known how to turn a bad situation to his advantage, but this... You couldn't have known Calvin was involved in this game. Erica and Carl are the only two of dozens of people who have worked in the DA's office during Colby's time there. Quinn's right. Their involvement in his campaign was hardly a smoking gun. You were right to be cautious, though. No, I should have pushed harder the second we suspected he had anything to do with this. After all, I've seen firsthand how aggressively Calvin pursues his ambitions, how ruthless he can be. If he didn't have the money to run for mayor the minute he thought he deserved it, I should have guessed he wouldn't have hesitated to take it. I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but it's a little late for all that. Colby's killed our witness, our case, and rather than going down for the scheme, he's using it to bolster his vote. You look worriedly at Gabe. What do we do now? I think we're all agreed. Hank's innocent, which means we need to proceed very, very carefully. You mean in case Colby tries to push us off a building? Killing us would raise far too many questions, but killing our firm's reputation would make his life a lot easier. How? We've done everything on the up and up. He defrauded dozens of elders. He just murdered Hank and pinned the scheme on him. He'd find a way. Agreed. The only real question is how far he'd go if he felt threatened. A cold feeling settles over you as you realize just how much danger you're all in. If Calvin, or Colby has evidence that Hank and I were in contact, he could use it to make it look like we were working together on the scheme. Even with my own grandmother trapped in Green Gardens against her will? It wouldn't be difficult to make it look as though you set Sorge up, either to legitimize a scheme or to gain access to her money. If he's really worried, this might make him transfer Sorge to a proper guardian to keep her at Green Gardens indefinitely. Angry tears blaze in Aislin's eyes. Then we just have to outplay him. Get ahead of whatever he has planned. But how? Gabe, you know him best. What's our move here? Fight fire with fire. We'll call a press conference today and lay out everything we know before he has a time to launch an attack on us. But we don't have any hard evidence, and there's no way Colby hasn't had everything incriminating on the city's server scrubs. Knowing how cautious Hank was, I'd be very surprised if he didn't have some sort of backup. If we can find it before Colby does, we can clear Hank's name and turn the investigation back towards the real culprits. Go with Gabe to search for evidence. Get that evidence. You're right. Hank would definitely have made a backup. But someone that paranoid, he'd never leave it in his office. It's too risky. Even if he had, the place would be crawling with cops, and whoever wrote that note would have already had a chance to look for it. And scrub his work computer for any traces of evidence. If it was ever there, we won't find it, but now, where else might he hide it? I bet shot his apartment, and we have to get there fast before Colby has a chance to search it. Gigi, can you organize the press conference while we're gone? Do you even have to ask? Though, it'd be easier to pull it together on such short notice, with a little help. I'll make the coffee. We'll be back as soon as we can. Take your time. This is the best chance we've got of getting the case back on track. You take a cab across town to Hank's apartment building, which is mercifully free of any street-level police presence. Upon reaching its floor, you see his apartment has nothing but a bored-looking cop to distinguish it from the others. How do we get past him? We're lawyers, Quinn. Talking our way in and out of situations is literally our job. Good point. Follow my lead. One of my favorite pastimes. The cop looks up as you approach him. I'm Hank Lovell's attorney. I'm assuming you have a warrant to search his home. What search? I'm just here to stand guard. I see. Have you been inside? No. Lee says there's no pets, so with an off-site ending, well, there's no reason to search it at this point. I'm just here in case anyone gets any funny ideas about talking or taking revenge on the guy who took advantage of the city's grandmas. Makes sense. I'm sure you'll understand that as his attorney, I'll need access. Cop moves aside, cracking the door open for you. Even Gabe raises an eyebrow at how easy that was. Are you sure you don't want to check out IDs? Nah, I know you're legit. I was at Elena Vasquez's press conference last year when you caught the guy that did it. I mean, not sure how you wound up working for this schmuck after winning a case like that, but what do I know? It's not our job to judge our clients' ethics, just to help them untangle their legal issues. This is true. That's the whole part of a lawyer. You step into a spotless, one-bedroom apartment. You close the door and lock it behind you in case the cop's not as uninterested as he claims. They really don't pay social workers enough. No, they don't. And that's why they're so overworked and underpaid. You do know how high rents are in the city, right? Better than most, and I know that with the amount of work people like Hank do, they should be able to live in it a bit more comfortably. Yeah. You turn on the spot taking in the kitchenette, the study nook, and the bedroom, and the sliver of a bathroom you can see through an open door. Let's see if Hank kept any files in the house. The menu. Let's search the kitchen, bathroom. Alright, so if Hank is the kind of guy, then I'm sure he is. Living room. On the far side of the living room, you approach a desk wedged between two bookshelves. It's the only place with any real storage in the small space. I definitely see files. This is gonna take a while. You take the side, I'll take this one. You divide and conquer, pouring through Hank's documents, but none apply to the conservatorship cases or anyone else involved. Anything? Nope. Hank kept excellent records, though. You sit back and look at the thin offering of fiction on the shelves. Your eyes are drawn to one in particular, Crime and Punishment. I wonder. You pull the giant book down, and a sliver of a glossy photo paper flutters out. Gabe, look at this. You show him the sliver of a photo on the back as a number 3. What in the Sherlock Holmes? We need to look for anything similar to this. It could be a message. Well, if it is, Hank is even more paranoid than we thought. With good reason, it would seem. Dad already knew that this would happen. So, if each one's going to be a clue, and it might be a 4-digit number or a 3-digit number, and then the final one is a clue to the where it might be. I guess we'll go with the kitchen next. You survey Hank's tiny kitchenette, looking for anything out of place. If you had any sensitive information, would you hide it in your kitchen? Yes, in the coffee pot. It's where I hide all my money. Oh, wait. I subsequently also drink it all because it's the only thing that keeps me going. Coffee does a body good. Gwen, if I had sensitive information, I'd email it to 50 people. Danger shared is danger halved. You know, I don't believe you for a second, right? If anything, you'd request information so you could help everyone else. I miss when you thought I was a selfish bastard. You split up, searching every nook and cranny of the kitchen, but nothing stands out as odd until Gabe opens the freezer door and... bingo. You hurry to his side, and neatly but cut sliver of what looks like a photograph sits beneath a bag of frozen peas. Okay, he's definitely trying to tell us something. He turns over the photograph, and the number 2 stares back at you. It looks like this part of the same photograph as the first piece we found. Let's see if we can find the rest of it. Well, bathroom. Or it's a 4-digit. We put the picture together, and that'll tell us. It's one of two. It's one of two capabilities. You step into Hank's bathroom and catch a lingering scent of cologne. You open the mirror cabinet and find the bottle. It's nice enough, but it could have been a gift. I wonder who gave him this. Let's hope it was someone special. You examine the gift card, but attached to the neck. Still attached to the neck, but instead of a friend's note inside, you find a neatly cut strip of what looks like a photograph. I got another one. Is there a number? You turn the tag over. Yep, 7. I wonder what this adds up to. Bedroom. You step into Hank's bedroom. The room is tidy, the bed imperfectly made. I'll look through the wardrobe, you take the bed. You start by searching beneath the mattress and notice a photograph on the bedside table. A younger Hank stands in a group hug between two women who look like a little like him. These must be his sisters. When you pick it up, the photo shifts, revealing something beneath it. You turn the frame over and pull off the back. This is it. This completes the picture. Bring it out here. We also didn't get a number on it yet. You lay all 4 pieces of the photo down, arranging them to form a picture of the New York City skyline. The photo. Hank has another copy of it hanging near the desk. I totally glossed it over it. Here, help me get it done. You gently take the frame off the wall, revealing a small alcove fitted with a digital safe. The numbers on the back of the pictures. That must be the code. You turn the slivers of the photograph over and find the sequence 7239. We never got a 9. But alright, I mean, I was trying to keep track of the numbers, but I was gonna try and guess. You peek inside and see a single USB stick and take it out with a shaking hand. We're gonna need your laptop. Way ahead of you. You sag onto the couch as Gabe sets up his computer, installing the USB stick. The only thing on here is a video file. Play it. Hank appears on the screen, sitting on the couch across from where you and Gabe are right now. He looks into the camera, speaking urgently. My name is Hank Lovell, and if you're watching this video, then the worst has happened. But perhaps my death won't be in vain. I've been investigating a scheme in which capable elders are being shunted into guardianships. I suspected the perpetrators are hoping to gain access to their finances, and I think I'm being set up to take the fall. He holds up a series of documents, waiting until the camera brings them into focus before moving to the next. These are the documents I intend to hand to Quinn Michaels of Ricci and Associates as soon as it's safe to do so. They confirm that Judge Elias Ritter, Carl Goodall, and Erica Carpenter are working together to perpetrate these conservatorships. But I don't think they're working alone. I've been digging further, and it looks like all this was started years ago. Back when... His phone rings, he answers it without stopping the tape. Hi, thank you, I'll meet you there. He ends a call and looks back to the camera. Lucky timing, I'm convinced. No, I won't say their name. Needless to say, I have access to the city archives in a small window. I'll finish this video later tonight, hopefully then with more evidence. The video ends. This is time-stamped yesterday afternoon. Just hours before he died. Poor Hank. I wish he trusted me enough to tell me everything. He obviously had a better idea of the danger he was in than we did. I'm sure he thought he was protecting you. Still, now he's dead. And we have more questions than answers. Maybe, but we also have a good chunk of the evidence he planned to provide, the proof that he feared for his life. You eject the flash drive and hold it tight. And we can't afford to lose it. Then, let's get this somewhere safe. You return to Ricci and Associates on a high and call Gigi and Aislinn at Gabe's office. Their jaws drop as you play the video. Damn. Do you think the archival material would have implicated Colby directly? It seems highly likable. But we don't have any evidence to prove it. No, and we have to no guarantee that we'll find it, so we need to use this tape and the press conference very carefully. The way I see it, there are 2 ways we can approach this conference. We heavily imply the evidence exists that will exonerate Hank. Or we scream, cover up, and put Al Colby on blast. Even the hint of a scandal will have to hurt him with voters. I'm liking that put Colby on blast plan. But it could ruffle the feathers of a lot of people we need on our side going forward. Playing things closer to our chest will scare Calvin and win some goodwill with the authorities, and good eggs in the DA's office. I think we need to be as diplomatic as possible. And let's take the subtle approach. As much as I want to put Colby on the blast, we need to be thinking long-term. If we want to take this case to court, we'll need as many allies as possible. especially if you ever want to track down any solid evidence in the case. Strongly agreed, Quinn. Aislinn thinks about it for a long moment and then nods. You're right. The catharsis can wait. Let's make sure we've got this on lock. What do we do about Hank's video? I say we air it live. It's one hell of a closer. Letting the public see Hank's final statement would make them memorable television, maybe even headlines, which might also make it harder to find an impartial jury down the line. Of course, that's the court's problem, not ours. What's our other option? Handing over to the police? We can turn it over to our advantage, too. Say we have a final statement from Hank Lovell that casts his death as suspicious. Then note we're turning it over to the authorities, not knowing that Hank said, well, give Colby shivering in his boots. This decision will have an impact on the press conference and the conservator case going forward. Choose carefully. I'm not to think about this one for a minute. Yeah, no, hold on. Alright. So, I'm thinking illusion of choice here. Really do. I'm gonna air the tape. I don't want to give Ritter, Erica, or Carl any more chances to worm their way out of this. Fair enough, I'll make sure it's ready to air after our statement. Make sure you back that footage up before you hand it to anyone. This isn't my first case defining video, GG. A text lights up Gabe's phone screen. We should start getting ready. I want all of us on that stage to provide a united front. Which means I need you all to look your best, not a hair out of place. Good thinking. The way more professional we appear, the more people will believe us. And Quinn, I want you to take a point. But if we're representing the firm, shouldn't you? You're the one Hank trusted in all this. You should be the one to clear his name. Besides, it's common knowledge that I was a public defender when Calvin was an ADA. I don't want anyone questioning our motives. What about Gigi's? She's our powerhouse media expert. I'm a very sexy coach, not a quarterback. You got this. Great, you're the right person to represent us today, Quinn. Yeah, but if all the attention's going to be focused on you, you should take the time to pick out the right outfit. Appearance matters more than people like to admit, and if you want to be taken seriously... If you want to be taken seriously... Whatever happened to a nice old suit and tie? Whatever happened to that? Look like some guy from, like, New Jersey. Who remembers that movie? Who remembers it? I'll head to the boutique now and meet you all in the lobby in half an hour. Perfect. Knock us dead. Return to the office a short while later in a new outfit handpicked for you by the boutique's owner. What do we think? Will anyone pay attention to me when I cast out on New York City's DA's office? Nice choice, Quinn. Aislinn steps forward to adjust a sleeve, her fingers tracing lightly along her waist when she's done. It's gonna be hard to just stand there and watch you take on the city and that. This was your idea. Then I'm a genius. The firm's town car pulls up in the street outside. Time to go. I'm trying to remember the name of the damn movie while I'm multitasking this. You and the others are taken backstage as soon as you arrive at the venue. You catch a glimpse of the crowd of journalists and onlookers as you go. Whoa, how many people did you reach out to? Everyone. I guess everyone answered. The more people who hear our message, the better. The backstage manager hurries past, flashing you a 5 to indicate your dwindling time. We'll be ready. Cousin Vinny. Yep, no, I had to think about it. You peek out behind the curtain to a swelling crowd of reporters, police, and city officials. Suddenly, in the enormity of what you are about to do hits you hard. You hear someone at your shoulder. Why do you look so squeezy? She peeks past you. Wait, I just answered my own question. That's so many reporters. Ugh, every major news station in the state is out there. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I tank what's left over a case? You won't. How can you be so confident? We don't have a smoking gun. But we have you. Aislinn takes both of your hands, squeezing them tightly. We're only gotten this far because of you, Quinn. You won Hank's trust, now win theirs. Aislinn, have I ever told you lately that I don't deserve you? She puts her hand on your cheek, smiling tenderly at you. Quinn, you're the one fighting to do the right thing by my Nana. If anyone here is lucky, it's me. The backstage manager peeks up and gives a thumbs up. Gabe looks to you. Quinn, we're on. You ready? I'm ready to... clear Hank's name. He could easily have used the evidence to gather to get a cut of the scheme, but he came out to us instead. He should be remembered as a hero, not a villain. If anyone can fix that, it's you. A sea of red recording lights and microphones stare back at you as your colleagues take the stage. You come to a halt behind the podium. Is it true Ricci & Associates is representing the disgraced social worker, Hank Lovell? Miss Tanaka, we've received word that your grandmother was one of Hank Lovell's victims. Will you be suing the city on her behalf? Mr. Ricci, you raise both hands, quieting the room. Thank you all for coming on such short notice. Notes at Aislinn standing on your lap. She gives you a small, reassuring smile. I'm sure by now you've all heard the serious and despicable allegations made against Hank Lovell. Our firm has been investigating the conservatorship scheme for several months now, with a view of taking it to court. Taking it to court must be more to meets the eye. Mr. Lovell wasn't the instigator of the scheme. He was a whistleblower who was assisting us as a key witness. Questions explode from the crowd like a thunder. You hold your hands up in silence and point to one of the reporters. Are you saying Mr. Lovell was framed? We're saying that Mr. Lovell has been unfairly accused, and that we are committed to proving his innocence. But what about his note? Okay, Quinn, time to thread carefully. We've set the tone now to be the solid argument. Mr. Lovell's note is still being examined by police. You think it's fake? I think rushing to a conclusion would disrupt the formal investigation being conducted, and that doesn't help anyone. And should the investigation verify the note's authenticity? What reason would Hank Lovell have to end his life if he weren't at least complicit? We're not here to discuss Mr. Lovell's death, only his innocence, which I'll reiterate we're convinced of. This isn't me stirring the pot needlessly. We've brought substantiating footage for you to see. By the end of this, there will be no doubt in your minds of Hank's innocence. His life may be lost, but we will ensure that he gets the last word. The prospect of footage from Hank shocks the reporters as they hang on to your every word. This all sounds like an attempt to shift blame. Are you asking people to believe Lovell was involved in the scheme? I'm asking people to avoid rushing to point the finger. Let the authorities be thorough before we accuse. Schemes like these thrive in the cities when the city's processes are rushed and incomprehensive. Surely someone's to blame for forcing competent people into nursing homes and stealing their assets. No, really? And that's why he's a whistleblower. Absolutely. And those very conspirators are counting on a sloppy, hurried examination of the events. The quicker the public creates a narrative, the easier it is for them to evade justice. So let's analyze this thoroughly. Your audience calms at your reasoning, ready to hear what you have to say. This scheme isn't a case of a man, one man, taking the opportunity to skim from a few savings accounts. Its victims have a combined net worth of over $100 million. In addition to examining the note, I'm sure the police are looking into Hank's financial records, and they'll find no sums there. As a soft buzz of surprise from the crowd, you push the advantage. An operation that identifies wealthy potential victims and funnels them into the right courtrooms is impossible for one person to mastermind. It requires several collaborators exploiting the loopholes, blind spots that exist in our court system. Blind spots like an overburdened social worker. Who are you accusing here, Mr. Michaels? We found evidence pointing to at least 3 individuals. 2 assistant district attorneys and 1 judge. Do you have their names? You looked at Gabe, unsure where to proceed. You'd planned to play it as close to your chest, but he gives you a sharp nod. Erica Carpenter, Carl Goodall, and Judge Elias Ritter. Catacomb of eager questions breaks out in the wake of revelation. You speak over the top of them. You'll find all 3 names repeat across the conservatorship cases in question. I believe those files are open to the public. That is a serious allegation. Again, one that will be backed up by the footage we'll be sharing with you in just a moment. Even under duress, Hank Lovell anticipated the extent of the scheme and the need for evidence against it. But isn't your firm biased in this matter? If you're referring to Miss Tanaka's grandmother being a victim of the scheme, it's only made us more committed to exposing the real culprits. I'm referring to the fact your founding partner regularly argued against the office you're accusing of corruption dozens of times. Don't forget the rumors that he was pushed out of McGraw-Byrne. Richie's credibility isn't what it used to be. How do we know this accusation isn't just a case of sour grapes, a stunt to regain some resemblance of relevance? Oh, they're doing this. Because he's not already relevant? Glance at Gabe and gives you a nod, encouraging you to speak on his behalf. Gabe Ricci's history has no bearing on this matter. Our firm initially took this case to reverse the court's decision to put Miss Tanaka's grandmother into unnecessary care. None of us could have predicted the trail of corruption that we would uncover. So it's just a coincidence that you're the one to uncover it? That no one else simply speaks to how high up this scheme goes and how many people are in on it, concealing it. In a few minutes, it will become abundantly clear to all of you how so many have missed this. Okay, but where's the evidence to back up these claims of corruption? Literally shut the hell up and you'll watch the video and then you can ask these stupid, half-witted, half-assed questions. You see Gabe nod to the backstage manager, a screen descends behind you. At this point, we'd like to play a video recording Hank Lovell made just hours before his death. The hall falls into stunned silence as Hank appears on the screen and holds up his documents accusing Judge Ritter and the assistant district attorneys by name and mentioning his fears for his own life. You turn back to the stunned reporters as the video ends. A copy of this video will be made available upon request. We won't be taking further questions at this time. The room explodes into more frantic questions as you and your coworkers exit the stage. Literally, when you say no more questions and they still ask questions, it's kind of stupid, don't you think? As soon as you're safe in the wings, your steeliness dissolves into exhaustion. Well, we did it. You did it. And from the sounds of it, you made a splash. They don't even seem to be leaving. You put your ear to the curtain and listen to the chatter of the reporters. This changes everything. Just one bombshell after another. I mean, Elias Ritter? I knew Ricci and Associates would be a firm to keep an eye on, but I never would have predicted they'd uncover citywide corruption. Uh-huh. It looks like they poked several holes in the plot to scapegoat Hank. All while turning the heat up on Colby big time. Not really. Not really. How is this turning the heat up on Colby? Like, his name is not implicated. He is not really associated whatsoever with them, besides he once worked in an office with 2 of them. Upon returning to the office, Gabe summons everyone to the conference room. Should I do a coffee run for everyone? Oh, please, could you? I haven't had coffee in hours. It's also -40 outside. Nah, that's degrees, fam. That's -40, okay? It's cold as hell in my room. I'm wearing multiple layers and I need help. Oh, that won't be necessary. Luca enters with a tray of mugs and a steaming coffee pot. I have French roast and bagels. Get them while they're hot. What's this about, Gabe? Linda stalks in her phone to her ear. I'll call you back as soon as I can. Jim's a call and looks levelly at Gabe. This had better be important. Gabe switches on the TV and a replay of the press conferences playing on every network. I think it's time you knew about the case Quinn, Aislinn, Gigi, and I have been working on. I was wondering if the rest of us were going to get to join the fun. The firm falls silent as the press conference plays out. You watch yourself with bated breath until it's over. Breaking news from Ricci & Associates press conference where Hank Lovell's guilt has been called into doubt. For anyone who thought the story ended with Mr. Lovell's death, the tape aired today begs to differ. Mr. Lovell's account ties the conservative scheme to the DA's office, court, possibly even higher. We'll be following this investigation closely in the coming weeks. But if there's one thing we know, it's that Ricci & Associates conducted themselves with serious professionalism today. I knew I should have, like, ripped my shirt open and ran away. Gabe switches off the TV. So this is the case you guys have been so secretive about. Oh, that's right. The fewer people who knew, the better. It was the right decision. A case of this nature requires discretion. But the cat's out of the bag now. We need to get ready for what comes next. Colby isn't going to sit around and wait for us to find the evidence. We need to expose him. Does that mean we should press our advantage and put our case together? Don't get me wrong. You had them wrapped around your finger, but an impressive conference isn't enough to make the case in court. But those documents Hank held up appear too briefly for the camera to verify details like city watermark. They tell us a lot, but they're not enough by themselves. And you didn't find the originals in Hank's apartment? Just the USB stick that contained the video. This isn't the end. We've conducted ourselves well enough that our reputation is strong enough to weather whatever Calvin tries to bring against us. But the case is still active, and we're in the best possible position to continue pursuing it. Well, once further evidence comes to light. In the meantime, I want us to focus our energy on something we've been neglecting ourselves. He pauses for dramatic effect. Team building. I saw a flyer for a gallery opening not too far from here. I think we should go. You want us to go and look at art in the midst of all this? Why not? The office could use some more decor to liven up the place. I think it would be a good bonding experience if we chose to together. He looks around at blank stares and then finally, you know what? After the whirlwind of a day, I could really use some team bonding right now. You don't have to ask me twice. I'll take any chance I can to admire art. If I've to spend the rest of the night staring at something, I'll take a painting over wall paperwork. The gallery openings always come with free champagne. I don't know who this person is, and they just randomly pop up. It would be nice to hang out outside of work and get to really know each other better. We didn't know you until right this second. Wait, who are you? Oh my god! Literally what I was just saying 20 seconds ago! Exactly. Yeah, no, we'll never see her ever again, too. Gabe nods, his eye settling on you. What'll it be, Quinn? Why do I have to be a part of this? Listen, I just want to go home, cuddle up under blankets, and not even do this shit whatsoever. Leave me alone. I don't mean when I say it's this cold, man. I'm telling you. Well, let's make some memories, team. That's the attitude I'm looking for. Linda gives a long, suffering sigh. But you swear you can see the hint of a smile. Fine, I'll get my coat. The rest of the team follow Gabe a few blocks over to a small but beautiful art gallery. Oh, credettes, I'm famished. I see champagne and 5 kinds of sushi. That's my cue. I'll come with you. I think I'll start with the art. Me too. This is my first gallery opening, so I'll need longer to form my opinions. Lucy glances at a violently red and black abstract piece. Or figure out exactly what I'm looking at. Perk up, old friend. It'll all be over soon.
Unless it's an excellent rendering of a racehorse, I just don't see the point.
Emotion. Mood.
Waste of time, if you ask me.
Okay, I like Linda. Oh, shit. Luca looks around the gallery with a bemused smile. You know, if Sadie suggested a team-building exercise like this, it would be so she could assess everyone's merits based on their taste in art, but Gabe isn't Sadie.
A fact I'm increasingly grateful for.
Watch your colleagues drift apart, drawn into different pieces in different parts of the gallery. I should take this opportunity to get to know someone a little bit better. I throw myself in front of a snow plow right now. This is all going to be over. Let's go with Linda. We find Linda holding a glass of champagne, staring at an empty trash can. Do you need me to tell you that's not part of the display?
I hate to embarrass you, Quinn, but look a little closer.
You edge closer and realize that the trash can is a clever replicant made entirely from reclaimed and polished aluminum foil. Nice catch. I definitely would have tossed a napkin in there at some point tonight.
It's important to pay attention to details. Did I ever tell you about the time I got a case thrown out based entirely on the plaintiff's suit?
As in their suit? Like the item of clothing?
It was an absurd case. The plaintiff was trying to sue my client for failing to provide a tranquil workplace. I argued that anyone wearing a lime green pantsuit didn't know the meaning of the word. It was an efficient way to put an end to the whole charade.
You laugh and move on, leaving Linda to revel in her glory days.
You're such a snob, Gabe. It's gorgeous.
It's a beach. It's literally the first thing they tell you to paint in kindergarten. You come to a stop between them, taking in a literal, very literal interpretation of a seascape painted in soft blues and greens.
I don't care if it's not avant-garde, it's beautiful. Those colors are to die for.
Turquoise ocean. Groundbreaking. What do you think, Wynn? I'm just imagining myself laying down on the cold ground as the negative 40 mile per hour winds like hit me and I wait for the snowplow. Listen, this is what happens when you get me an art in a room. I think it's exactly what my office wall needs. It's a great vibe for our clients to sit with in the lobby. Calming. I will Yes! I will fling myself into a literal ocean before I let that be the first thing our client sees. That is a very strong reaction to a picture of a calm ocean, Gabe. It doesn't have to be imagination to be a choppy ocean. Where's the drama? Where's the movement? So, when you asked us to choose art for the office as a group, what you really meant was, I still mean it, but I'm using my prerogative as a person receiving the credit card bill to veto this bland nonsense.
Maybe I'll buy a postcard of it and stick it in my office.
Grin and Aislinn Escape rolls his eyes and gestures for the rest of the team to join you. Oh, do we have any front runners? Bear in mind that if you say the seascape, you're fired. What about the sunset?
Oh, yes, the sunset.
Abe glances at the sunset with a wince. Ugh, I will accept the sunset if there are no other options.
I like the apple. It's simple but classic. I vibe with the apple. I'm partial to the Pomeranian in that, myself. It's whimsical, irrelevant in a way that I think suits our new endeavor.
Oh my god! Oh, my vote goes towards the Pomeranian now.
Me too. My vote goes to the very distinguished puppy.
All fine choices, but I must say, the abstract piece really speaks to me.
What about you, Mr. I have taste that everyone else could benefit from?
Oh, you want me? Oh, okay. Alright, hold on. Yeah, Pomeranian. I knew I was gonna see that one. Sunset actually looks really pretty. And, yeah, apple. No, in all seriousness, though. An apple is not art. Taking a picture of a fucking apple, like, that's not art. I'm sorry. And then a Pomeranian. It's just a goddamn dog. It's not art. This is more artful than these two. And the sunset's very pretty, so I'll take it. I think the sunset tells our story best. Most of us left McGraw-Burn in search of a brighter tomorrow. Yeah, but that would be sunrise versus sunset. Oh, I like that. I'm changing my vote. I just thought it was pretty, but it's a lovely sentiment. I could stand to look at a sunset all day. And I guess we're going with a sunset. He flags down a tray of champagne and hands fresh glasses to each of you. Let's raise a toast to Ricci and Associates.
To Ricci and Associates, I'm glad you're reasonable enough to make me an offer.
To Ricci and Associates, I have a very good feeling about this team. Ricci and Associates, don't make me regret joining.
To being the best lawyers in New York City. To a wonderful firm. To Ricci and Associates. To us. To us.
To us, person we'll probably never ever see again. You raise your glass to meet theirs. To the best team anyone could ask for. You made some great calls in bringing us together, Gabe. I couldn't have said it better myself. You know, listen, I actually paid for half this team, thank you very much. Your glasses chime as you clink them together. You all drink deep, exchanging exciting smiles. With your colleagues, Gabe was right, this was a good idea. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to empty my pockets in the name of art. The gallery owner eyes Gabe curiously as he approaches, pointed to painting you've chosen. Am I imagining things, or did you firm pick the pieces together? Is that strange? Quite, but in a fascinating way. It speaks to a very unique perspective. One arts often hold, but rarely attorneys. I've never seen that collaborative spirit in a law firm before. I'll send my artist your way in the future. Appreciate it. Hey, we gained business. After a stop to pick up some dinner, you've stepped off the subway near your apartment. You freeze as you spot a shadowy figure on the corner.
Quinn.
Your shoulders relax as you recognize the voice. Wow. What are you doing here?
I kinda thought it was obvious.
You've become a door-to-door salesman?
I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, we got that. You're literally inside my home. You juggle your dinner looking for your keys as you keep walking down the block. He follows. To what do I owe the visit?
I need to talk to you in private.
His tone is unusually serious. You look at him surprised. About what?
He takes a deep, jittery breath. I want to join Ricci and Associates, and
He lowers his voice to a whisper.
I think I know something about your social worker, something important.
It looks like Bao has finally come around. And how important is this information he's bringing with him? Keep playing to find out. I'm not going to use the usual outro screen. We're just going to keep it like this. That's right. Shocking. Without further ado, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down to the description of the video. Plenty of cool things there. Great ways to support. Great ways to come join our wonderful family and community that we've built here over the past, well, for Choices alone, it's been 6 years. For me as a content creator, it's been 11. And 3,800 videos, let's put it that way. So, with that being said, I love your beautiful faces in case I don't see you again. Because literally Christmas is in a day for certain parts of the world, but in a couple days for the rest of us. Have a great holiday, whether you celebrate that or don't. Just stay warm, stay toasty, drink some hot chocolate for me, and little mushrooms in it. Specifically, dark hot chocolate. I love that shit. And or the one with the spiciness in it. You know, a little cayenne pepper. Oh, that's some good stuff right there. But with that being said, hopefully you're all staying warm and toasty. It is super chilly. super chilly. I literally and figuratively wish I had a heater just blasting into my room right now, but unfortunately my house's heater can only put out so much, heat. So it's super, super cold. It really sucks. Also, apparently I kind of like, came out of a coma. So, I'm... I noticed today's Friday, and I completely missed Wednesday's one book that I needed to do, so don't worry, I'll catch up on that sometime this weekend. I know it's a holiday season, everyone's too busy anyway, so without further ado, love your beautiful faces, and I'll catch you all for the next video. Peace out.